Hi everyone, Ires Alliston here, and another member in our group, Nikki, asked a question about how to create the foundation for creating an online course. So in this training, in this video, I'm going to go ahead and address her question. As you can see here, this is her original post. Nikki actually, she helps women gain their self-confidence so they can become unstoppable. And in this training, I want to go ahead and quickly share with you on how to do just that in 3 simple steps. Number one is about how to define the problem that your ideal clients and your customers, your prospects are currently facing right now in their business, in their personal life. Number two is how to test and sell your idea, your course idea. And the third step is how to create an outline for your course. Now, you might want to go ahead and get a pen and paper because during this entire training, you might want to go ahead and write things down because I'm also going to be giving you some formulas on how to do these steps. So creating an online course is easy once you know the proven methods to course creation. So go ahead and write down number one. The first step is about defining the problem. This is how to define the problem. The problem is about what your ideal clients and customers are struggling right now. What keeps them up at night? What are some of the challenges they're currently facing right now? So, for example, perhaps you're a business coach or a life coach or, a business coach. So, one of the things that your clients might be having difficulties right now is perhaps getting clients. Or perhaps you help people how to start a business online. So maybe your clients are overwhelmed with how to get started. Where did they begin? Because they have all these skills and knowledge in their head. What do they need to do in order for them to start their business? Or in Nikki's case, where she helps women who went through life's ordeal beyond belief, maybe she helps them with let's say with self-identity or gaining their self-confidence back during and after what they've been through, whatever the case may be for Nikki. Now, if you don't know what those challenges and problems are yet, I want you to go ahead and do some market research on this, some marketing and getting some marketing intelligence. Because by researching your market online, you can definitely get some ideas on how you're able to help them, how you're able to solve their biggest problems. So some of the things that you can do is you can research online articles, you can read some blogs, ebooks, even social media posts. And some of the things also is maybe you've also written things down already that you might not be aware of, that have mentioned about how you can help your clients, how you can help them achieve the results and the ultimate outcomes that they want. Because the purpose of this exercise, again, is to help you become aware of your market and helps you get that market intelligence about your ideal clients and niche. So again, so you can solve their biggest problems, okay? And I highly recommend that you continue getting those market intelligence for your niche so you're able to provide even more value for your clients and audience consistently. Now, before we dive deeper into this training, I want to give you this formula first. So go ahead and write this down. And the formula goes like this. I help blank who struggle with blank to achieve blank without blank. I know that is a mouthful, but go ahead and write it down. I help blank who struggle with blank to achieve blank without blank. I know there's too many blanks there, but I'm going to explain it to you. So let's take Nikki's example, Nikki's case as our first example. She helps women who went through life's ordeal beyond belief. Now that we have the formula, let's go ahead and plug the information in the formula. So this is how it's going to come out with the formula. She helps women who struggle with recovering from an abusive relationship regain their self-identity, self-confidence, and self-awareness without being afraid to move forward in life. Let me say that again. She helps women who struggle with recovering from an abusive relationship regain their self-identity, self-confidence, and self-awareness without being afraid to move forward in life. You see how powerful that is? How concise your message is when you use this formula? Because it tells people who you serve and how to help them, how you can solve their problems, and what promise or the ultimate outcome you can potentially deliver. So let me go ahead and give you another example. As a lot of you know, I'm in the coaching industry, and one ultimate results that I provide is this. I help coaches and experts who struggle with growing their coaching business get qualified leads and clients without having to sell to their family and friends, even if no one has never heard of them. Do you see how the formula works? I help coaches and experts, which the people, my ideal clients, who struggle with the problem that they have right now. They're not getting enough qualified leads and clients, and achieve whatever it is they want to achieve without having to sell to their family and friends, even if no one has never heard of them. Now, knowing this formula also gives you the ability to also use it as your elevator pitch. Now, for those of you who are constantly networking, who are constantly talking to people and things like that, the elevator pitch can really, really set you up apart from everyone else. And for those of you who might not know what elevator pitch is, it's basically what you say when you introduce yourself to someone when they ask you, what do you do? What do you do in your business, right? For a lot of us, when we go to networking groups, when we go to social events and social functions and things like that, and we start meeting people and talking to them, one of the very first things they ask you is what? What do you do? Well, now, since you have this formula, you can definitely utilize and leverage the power of this formula to say your elevator pitch. So practice this. It's not going to come overnight, right? It's not going to happen overnight. But practice this, write it down first of all, and then practice it over and over again until it just rolls out of your tongue, until it becomes natural. Because let me tell you though, this works for me and the students that I help, and it really saves them a lot of time figuring out what they need to say when people ask them that, because they have this formula. Now, let's go back to this step. Let's go back to defining the problem. Once you know your current clients' problems, right, your prospects, your market, next is to write them down. Now, when you start thinking about their biggest problems, you can probably come up with, let's say, 5, 10, or even 20 problems that you know of that your prospects and clients struggle with. And it's okay. That's the reason why I want you to write it down. And that's the reason why I want you to go ahead and because it's going to help you unclutter whatever it is that you're thinking in your mind. After you write all of those down, I want you to go back and only pick the top 3 painful problems that you have the solutions for. Okay? I only want you to pick the top 3 painful problems, the biggest problems that you have the solutions for, that you can provide that ultimate results. Because I know, I mean, there are many more problems out there, right? Many problems, but I only want you to focus on those top 3 and focus on how you can help them solve their problems. I cannot stress this enough, because this is what I call identifying the transformation. What exactly is the ultimate outcome or result your clients will expect from you that you can ultimately provide? So for example, let me go ahead and continue with my own example. The top 3 problems my clients face right now in their business is they're not getting enough leads. That's one. Number 2 is they're not getting enough paid clients. And number 3, they don't have a marketing system in place in order for them to get those qualified leads and to get those clients. They don't have that system in place. Now, knowing these challenges in my industry, I'm able to provide the results they're looking for by helping them solve their issues in their business. So once this step, defining the problem, is defined, if you will, now we move to step 2. Step 2 is about testing and pre-selling your idea. This is before anything else that you do, right? This is another important and crucial step before you create your course entirely. I want you to test your idea first, because this is going to help you validate your idea. Because the truth of the matter is, you might think or you believe that you have an awesome idea. The thing is, it doesn't always necessarily mean that it will translate into a great product, a product that people will buy, actually. So how do you test your idea? Well, one of the ways is to start selling your course before it's even completed. Yes, you heard me right. I want you to start pre-selling your course before it's even completed. So how do you start selling your idea? Well, one of the things that you can do is you can create a landing page. I want you to build some of your course content based on the problems that you have defined. And on this landing page, make sure that you have a button for people to buy, because essentially once you start promoting this landing page, you want to be able to have, you want your customers to go ahead and pay you and get your program, get your course. Now, for those who might not know what a landing page is essentially it's a page that allows you to get people's information and get your offer, buy your offer. You can build a page on your website if you have a website. If not, if you don't have a website, you can research online for landing pages or sales pages, and you are bound to find a few selections. Now, when you have your landing page created, go ahead and promote it, especially online. You can either run paid ads to your offer using social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn to promote your offer. And this is where you have to pay the ads to do this. Or you can do organic outreach. In other words, you're not paying ads to promote your content. You're promoting it, or someone in your team is helping you promote your course, your outline, your idea. One of the things that I highly recommend is, especially if you want to go the organic route, is you can join several groups. So for instance, if you happen to be on Facebook, you can definitely join several groups online, Facebook groups. And once you join, I just want you to be mindful of all the regulations and the rules they have set up, because some of these groups may not want you to sell your product, to sell, your course and things like that. So just be mindful of their rules and regulations. And if it's okay, I want you to go ahead and make a public post about your course, what type of things that you offer, just an idea. You can definitely do that. Another thing you can do is, if you're not on Facebook, and if you happen to be on other social media platforms, you can do a social media blast, meaning just put your information out there on Twitter, on LinkedIn, YouTube, or whatever else that you use, Instagram. you can just do that. Just promote your idea. Share it on your platforms. If you also have an email, if you have a database, an email list, you can also write a simple email to your subscribers announcing what you have, what type of course idea that you have in mind. And that way you let them know what's coming up. Basically, you're making an announcement and have a deadline. So let's say 30 days from now, you are launching a course on whatever topic that you choose. Go ahead and let them know that 30 days from now, you are going to, or even 14 days from now, 30 days from now, just give yourself time to promote your idea by announcing it online and let people know about what's going on, right? What your offer is. Again, make sure that you have your landing page set up or your website to make sure that your information is out there and for your customers to get the information to buy your product from you. Now, when you get at least 3 or more people to pre-buy your course, you've actually validated your idea, meaning you have something there. You have unlocked the code, if you will, when you have 3 people or more buying your idea. Once you have that going, keep promoting it. Get more people to buy your idea until it's time for you to launch, to officially launch your program, your course, whatever that is for you. Now, for the final step. The final step is about creating an outline for your course. In this stage, in this phase, you have to step up your game a bit. Don't wait until the last minute to create your outline, because after all, people are paying you for your ability to guide and help them through the process and transformation. So one of the easiest ways to create your outline is by repurposing your own content. So what do I mean by that? Well, repurposing your own content. So I want you to look at your, let's say, some of your social media posts. If you happen to be on Facebook or any other platforms, I'm pretty sure you have probably had posted something inspirational, something problem solving post that you have created in the past. Definitely look at that, study it, gather that information. So because that's going to help you get the idea of what you need to teach and what others need to learn from you. You can also look at the articles that you have maybe written about or some blog posts that you have posted out there. If you're also an author, maybe you already have a book that you publish or ideas that you've already written down in your book, for your book, and you can get that type of content for your course. Or let's say if you happen to be interviewed by podcaster, if you happen to be a guest on any podcast or any radio shows or things like that, where you were able to answer some of the questions that they have interviewed you on. Those are some ideas. Those are some content that you can definitely have in your course. Gather as much as information that you've either written down or said, and that has helped a lot of people, okay? This is going to give you a better idea on what you want to teach your clients with. Again, I do want to caution you to be careful of getting wrapped up in making this complete and making it as perfect as possible. There's no such thing as perfection. As a matter of fact, perfection is the killer of success in sales, because the more you think about, being perfect, you procrastinate, you delay, and your customers are waiting on you to get your products out there. Now, you just need to make sure that you have an outline, and once you have the outline, you can develop it, you can tweak it once it's up and running. You always have to tweak it, okay? Make it better. All right, here's another formula to help you break down the information that you've gathered from the last step. this simple formula shows you how to actually structure your course. Do keep in mind the natural progression of where you're going to take your clients, okay, to take your clients to the next level. So these are the 3 stages that I want you to lead your people, your customers to. The first stage is about the beginning stage, and the second is proficient stage, and then the third stage is about the expert stage, right? This is very, very important. And the transformation is also very important to know, and you need to be able to know the transformation, which is basically the ultimate outcome in depth, whatever it is, the ultimate results that you will provide, and that you have the solutions to their problem. So make sure you address this part as fast as possible and be consistent with it. As you can see here, these are how you're going to structure your modules. You can have module 1 and 2, and then you can have subtopic 1 and 2, and so forth, right? These are the modules to have or to teach. So let me go ahead and give you the image that I actually have for you here that I've created. So on your paper, write down how many modules you're going to have or you're thinking about teaching. Okay, it could be 6 modules, 9, 12, whatever it is for you. If you're just starting out, I highly recommend that maybe you can just go between 6 to 8 modules for now, because in each modules you're going to have subtopics or lessons. So it's a lot of content. It really is a lot of content. So as you can see here, I'm showing you about 6 modules. Now, modules can also be equivalent to weeks. So module 1 could be week 1, module 2 could be week 2, and so forth, right? 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Now, you can always change how many modules you'll have as you start going through this process. And it's okay. You're also going to be changing the subtopics or lessons as well, and it's okay. Let's see. Well, for module 1, this is how you're going to start your module 1, because you're probably thinking about, it's like, well, what am I going to say on module 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so forth? Well, the very first thing you need to do is come up with something simple to start with for module 1 or week 1, however you want to call it, okay? Perhaps for your students, it's all about getting started. Perhaps on module 1, you can talk about how to get started. This is how your students is going to start with your program, your course. And maybe you can talk about what to expect in the program. That could be some of your lesson 1, and what your students will learn from you. So just give them a recap of what they're going to learn from you. So give them an overview of what it is. So that's going to be on week 1. And then you can continue from then on. Like, you just come up with subtopic titles for now for lessons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however it is for you. Okay, so module 1 or week 1, come up with a topic. So the topic could be getting started, and lesson 1 could be about the steps on how to get started, whatever that is for you in your niche, in your particular industry. So again, subtopics are lessons with strategies. So the next module, right, module 2 or week 2, it could be about strategies or tips that you want to teach your students with, some tips and strategies, whatever it is for you in your industry. Again, I want you to break it down into 1 to 5 lessons. Now, your lessons doesn't have to be long, especially if you're recording yourself, especially if you are providing some PowerPoints. It doesn't have to be lengthy. A lot of my students have done it between 10 to 15 minutes. I myself, I've done between 1 to 5 minutes worth of lessons, because the longer I find that the longer I do the lessons, right, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour, I think I just don't want to lose my clients that way, my students that way, because I'm providing them too much value in one sitting. So that might be too much for them. So I want you to break your lessons up into multi chunks, bit by bit. So if you can record yourself with a PowerPoint of the strategies that you want to teach them, the strategies that you want them to learn, then you can definitely break them up into multiple lessons. It doesn't have to be in one huge lesson for an hour. Just break them up. One of the things that I also recommend is having some supplemental guides or workbooks or worksheets or things like that for each of your lessons, if you can provide that. And it's so easy to create those types of guidelines or workbooks or worksheets. You can go to canva.com, canva.com, and you can either do a free trial or you can do a paid version. But obviously, with a paid version, they will unlock more features, but you don't need that right now, especially if you're just starting out. So use Canva, canva.com, to create your workbook, your worksheets, or if you don't want to do that, you can definitely utilize Word document and just come up with something simple. And basically, it's just going to be giving them bullet points, or come up with some strategies or tips that you want them to download. So think of it like you are also the student. Think of it like, what would you learn? What do you want to learn from your teacher, from your coach or mentor during each of these process? And that's how you're going to come up with some guidelines, some workbook or lessons and things like that as you progress along for your students. All right, so let's go ahead and summarize today's training. Number one is to define the problems your ideal clients are currently struggling with right now. And I want you to pick the top 3 painful problems they have and how you will solve those problems, right? I've also given you the formula. I help your, whatever it is, ideal clients who struggle with whatever it is they struggle with to achieve something without something they want to avoid. That's the formula. And also remember that you can utilize that formula as your elevator pitch. Number 2 is about testing and pre-selling your idea before you even complete the entire course. And I want you to create, once you have that, I want you to create the sales page so people can actually get your product. They can start buying your product, and constantly promote your product before you officially launch your course. So if you happen to be a coach and you want to teach them, you want to have that one-on-one, let's say one-on-one coaching or group coaching, make sure you give yourself enough time and your potential buyers time to think about whether or not they want to buy your program. Okay. Number 3 is about creating your outline. This is about creating your modules and subtopics, which is basically your lessons. So your modules, you can have up to 6 modules or even 12 modules. And for those who are just starting out, I recommend to only do perhaps maybe 6 to 8 for now. And then have about at least 1 to 5 lessons in each module. That's it.